Okay, when we were starting this trial on the 13th, we appointed some 3 people who we said are called assessors, and they are appointed from members of the public. They are lay people who are supposed to give the case a layman's view. And now the law requires me to sum up for them the evidence that was adduced both by the prosecution and the defense or the accused person. And after that, they are expected to give me their opinion. And I said that their opinion does not bind the court. The court retains the powers to make a judgment. So right now, I'm going to sum up to the assessors. Ladies and gentlemen assessors, please pay attention to what I'm going to say, and I'll give you some time to give me your opinion. Okay, the accused person is indicted on 4 counts of murder contrary to sections 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act, chapter 128. In count 1, it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makinde Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought unlawfully caused the death of Teku Gideon. In count 2, it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Center, Gaba Parish, Makinde Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought unlawfully caused the death of Keisha Agenroth Otim. And in count 3, it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makinde Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought unlawfully caused the death of Seryange Ignatius. And count 4, it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makinde Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought unlawfully caused the death of Odeke Ryan. The burden and standard of proof, the burden to prove the allegations made against the accused person lies on the prosecution, and the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. Under the Constitution, the accused person is presumed innocent until he pleads guilty or until he has been proved guilty by the prosecution. In this case, the accused person pleaded not guilty on all counts, thereby putting all the burden on the prosecution to prove his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. And this burden does not shift. Proof beyond reasonable doubt does not mean proof beyond any shadow of doubt. Yeah, and in a case of murder like this one, prosecution bears the burden to prove the following ingredients. Please pay attention. 1, that there was death of 4 people, namely Teku Gideon, who is in count 1, Keisha Agenroth Otim in count 2, Seryange Ignatius in count 3, and Odeke Ryan in count 4. That their deaths were unlawfully caused, and that whoever caused their death did so with malice aforethought. That is to say, he had the intention to kill, or the knowledge that the act would result into the deaths of these 4 children. And lastly, that the accused person caused or participated in the unlawful deaths. Proof of the ingredients. Death may be proved by post-mortem reports, the person or persons who saw the dead body, and those who attended the burial. In this case, in order to prove this ingredient, the prosecution adduced the evidence of Dr. Katongole Abdul, prosecution witness number 1, who performed the post-mortem examinations on the bodies of the 4 deceased children. That is Teku Gideon, Keisha Agenroth Otim, Seryange Ignatius, and Odeke Ryan, who confirmed that the 4 children were dead. The respective parents of the children, namely Apollo Stella, PW2, Komakech Marvin, PW3, Mbazira Lawrence, PW4, and Okrut Simon, PW5, the parents of the deceased children, respectively, also confirmed that the children were dead and buried. The evidence of the caretaker, Namtevi Phoebe, who is PW6, and the coordinator of the daycare center, Miss Annette Agoye Odongo, who is PW7, also testified to the death of the children. And the evidence of the district CID officer, Kabalagala, Esserite James, PW15, and the evidence of the scenes of crimes officer, PW14, they all talked about seeing the dead bodies of the 4 children. One dead body was at the center, which they called the primary scene, and the 3 dead bodies were at Wenzi Medical Center, and they called that the secondary scene. Unlawfulness as an ingredient. All homicide cases are presumed to be unlawful unless accidental or authorized by law. And Namtevi Phoebe, Miss Annette Agoye, testified on how the attack on the children was done. The district CID Kabalagala and the Soko, scenes of crimes officer, described the primary scene of crime, which was Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, where the crime is alleged to have happened, and the secondary scene being Wenzi. And the Soko, the scenes of crimes officer, took photographs of both scenes, including the photographs of the dead bodies, which you had an opportunity to look at in Exhibit PEX10. Malice, aforethought. This is a state of mind which may not be proved using direct evidence, but circumstances surrounding the case. It may be inferred from the nature of injuries, the type of weapon used, the part of the body on which the injuries are inflicted, prior planning and prior threats, and the conduct of the accused person during, prior, and after the incident. In this case, the prosecution adduced the evidence of PW1, Dr. Katongole Abdul, who examined the 4 bodies of the deceased and described the injuries on all the bodies of the 4 children were on the necks. And he concluded that the cause of death for all the children was hypovolemic shock due to deep cut injuries to the neck, and the same were caused by sharp objects. Miss Namtebi Phoebe, PW6, and Miss Annette Agoye Odongo, PW7, the eyewitnesses to the crime, saw and identified the weapon used as a knife. Namtebi Phoebe stated that she saw the accused throw the knife over the chain-linked fence. The knife was later recovered and was admitted as a prosecution exhibit. The other witnesses testifying to the injuries on the body of the deceased were the district CID, the division or CID officer Kabalagala Esserite James, who is PW15, and the scenes of crime officer, who is PW14. In his report, you looked at that report. Malice, aforethought may also be inferred from the evidence of prior planning. Prosecution adduced evidence of Namtebi Phoebe, PW6, regarding the visit of the accused person at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, that's the primary scene, on the 1st of April 2026, that is a day prior to the date of the offense. And also evidence of PW18, who analyzed the phones of the accused persons and other electronic devices and established that the accused had previously used his phone to make Google searches for kindergartens, daycare centers, play centers, among others. Accused participation. This may be proved by direct or circumstantial evidence, or both direct and circumstantial evidence. Direct evidence is where there are eyewitnesses to the crime who state that they saw the accused person commit the crime. Circumstantial evidence, on the other hand, is evidence from the surrounding circumstances of the case. The circumstances must be such that they point to nothing else than the guilt of the accused person. Prosecution adduced the evidence of Phoebe Namtebi, PW6, and Annette Agoye Odong, PW7, who testified that they saw Okello or Onyum-Christopher, the accused person, cutting the 4 children inside the premises of Gaba Early Childhood Development Center on the 2nd of April 2026 at about 11 a.m. or thereabout with a knife. Esserite James, PW15, the divisional CID officer of Kabalagala, and the Soko, scenes of crimes officer, responded and found when the accused had been arrested within the premises by Cyrus and Moses, security guard who was at the church gate. The accused was detained in the guard house of Gaba Early Childhood Development Center to keep him away from the angry mob that had gathered. and they rearrested him. There was DNA evidence, also PW 17, which revealed that the DNA of the accused person was actually found on the hand of the knife, which was recovered behind the scene. And both the report and the knife were admitted. There was also the DNA evidence also found some of the DNA from the bodies of the children on the clothes of the accused person. I will talk about contradictions and inconsistencies. There may be contradictions and inconsistencies in prosecution evidence. There are those contradictions and inconsistencies which are minor, and those should be ignored. However, if there are grave contradictions and inconsistencies that go to the root of the matter, those ones will lead to the discrediting of the evidence, and it will not be relied on. I will now turn to the defense case. The defense of the accused person must be weighed against the prosecution's evidence. In this case, the accused gave an unsworn statement and called two witnesses in his defense, DW2 and DW3. The accused did not expressly deny causing the deaths of the 4 children, but he repeatedly stated that he did not do so intentionally or deliberately. Although his evidence was lengthy, it may be summarized as follows. He did not act intentionally or deliberately, and although there were claims that he was completely mentally okay, there may have been other mental challenges that may have gone undetected that could have contributed to the death of their children. He said he was not mentally okay. He also denied being forward-minded in the killing of the children. In respect to this, he made reference to the book about the war, which was part of the evidence of PW18, who analyzed his flash disk and found that he had saved a book entitled Sun Tzu on the Art of War. He said that that book or file was saved long ago, and it cannot be said to apply to the killing of the children. He also denied being deliberate and with forethought while making reference to the evidence of the searches he made using his phone, as testified by PW18, and specifically the search for ISIS beheading and for schools that teach young children. He said that whereas these searches suggest that he did it deliberately, but other factors were forcing him to make those searches. He further stated that he was under the control of some people whom he said were in 3 categories. And the accused person further stated that between January to March, he entered into an especially distressing period because he was contending with some people who were surveilling him, made many demands from him, and they threatened to kill him. They began demanding for money, and he notes that they had all the capabilities, and they were following him closely. As a result, he left the neighborhood of Bunga, where he was staying, and started sleeping on the streets. He stated that as a result of this, he tried to end it some way and somehow, and tried a few things to bring the whole thing to an end. He tried to flee the country, he tried to rob a bank, and also tried to kill his brother's family. He then said those people whom he at times referred to as his friends during his testimony had to do with his actions of the second. He stated that court should not honor the charges for murder because there were some circumstances that forced him to act the way he did on second. That is the day of the incident. The accused also kept on denying the claim that he caused the deaths of the 4 children for human sacrifice, and insisted many times that he was coerced to make those statements. However, you will recall that the plain and the charge and caution statements were never brought as prosecution evidence. You will also realize that some of his statements would have required some more explanation from him, but because he gave an unsworn statement, he had to give his story uninterrupted and without assistance from his lawyers. From the above evidence of the accused person and from some of the questions during cross-examination of some of the prosecution witnesses, the accused seems to raise a defense of insanity and or diminished responsibility. The law presumes sanity under Section 10 of the Penal Code Act. It provides that, and I quote, "Every person is presumed to be of sound mind and to have been of sound mind at any time which comes in question, until the contrary is proved." Earlier alone, you heard the prosecutor saying this. Every person, all of us here are presumed to be sane until the contrary is proved. Section 11 of the Penal Code Act provides that a person is not criminally responsible for an act or omission if at the time of doing the act or making the omission, he or she is through any disease affecting his or her mind, incapable of understanding what he or she is doing, or of knowing that he or she ought not to do the act or omission, although his or her mind is affected by disease, if that disease does not in fact produce upon his or her mind one or other of the effects mentioned in this section in reference to that act or omission. And diminished responsibility is defined in section 177 and subsection 1 of the Penal Code Act, which provides that where a person is found guilty of murder or being a party to the murder of another, and the court is satisfied that the person was suffering from such abnormality of the mind, whether arising from a condition of arrested or retarded development of mind, or any inherent causes or induced by disease or injury, has substantially impaired his or her mental responsibility for his or her acts and omissions in doing or being party to the murder, the court shall make a special finding to the effect that the accused person was guilty of murder, but with diminished responsibility. Subsection 2 thereof provides that on a charge of murder, it shall be for the defense to prove that the person charged was suffering from an abnormality of mind, as is mentioned in subsection 1. You will also be expected to review the evidence regarding the lifestyle, the conduct, and or behavior of the accused person before the incident on April 2nd, 2026. This evidence can be found in the testimonies of his two landlords, one in Bunga, that is PW9, and another in Chanja, PW10. It can also be found in the testimony of PW8, the car rental, the person who gave him or hired to him the car. The vehicle, you looked at the vehicle, you know the registration number. The officer who analyzed the CCTV footage, PW18 who analyzed the accused person's electronic gadgets, Ms. Namtevi Phoebe, PW6, who interacted with the accused on the 1st and then on the 2nd of April. Also Ms. Annette Odong, who interacted with the accused person very closely a few minutes before the attack. You may also consider for your guidance evidence of two doctors, Dr. Roger Agenda of CKR IHK Kampala, who made a psychiatric and mental examination of the accused person on the 30th of December 2025 at the request of the accused person. And then evidence of Dr. Emmanuel Nwamanya, PW11, who is a police surgeon but at the same time a psychiatrist, who did a mental examination of the accused on the 7th of April 2026. Ladies and gentlemen assessors, you had the opportunity to listen to all the prosecution witnesses. You also listened to the defense evidence. You should be able to form your opinion in light of the legal principles that I have explained above, and advise the court on whether you believe that the prosecution's evidence adduced has proved the case against the accused person beyond reasonable doubt in light of the defense that he has raised. If you find that the prosecution has proved its case against the accused person beyond reasonable doubt on all counts, you will advise me to find the accused person guilty of the offense of murder on all counts, and you will advise me to convict him as indicted. If, in your opinion, the prosecution has proved some counts and failed to prove others, you will advise me to convict on those proved and acquit on those unproved. However, if you find that from the evidence of the prosecution, analyzed with the defense evidence, there is reasonable doubt, that doubt should be resolved in favor of the accused person. If, in your opinion, the accused person was insane or of unsound mind at the time he caused the death of the 4 children, you will advise me to acquit him because insanity is a total defense. But yes, that is it. And I want to hear from you. How much time do you need to give me your opinion?
You will check today? This evening?
How much time do you need?
10 minutes, my lord.
That will determine whether we are doing it today or we are doing it tomorrow or another day.
10 minutes, my lord.
10 minutes are enough?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, so we are breaking off for 10 minutes and we shall come back to hear from the assessors.
Tugenda wumulamu eddakiika 10 tukomewo tuwulirize baseesa.
Please proceed.
My lord, we have murder as ingredient number 1.
Murder or death?
Death, sorry, my lord. That the death was unlawful. Malice, aforethought, and participation. My lord, on ingredients 1, 2, and 3. We relied on the evidence of PW1, Dr. Katongole Abudu, who examined the 4 deceased juveniles in his postmortem reports, which were attended in this honorable court as PE1, PEX1, PEX2, PEX3, and PEX4 respectively. He confirmed to this honorable court that he examined the bodies of Eteke Gideon, whose cause of death was a deep cut injury on the neck, again wrote Keisha Otim, whose cause of death was hypervolemic shock following a deep cut wound on the neck.
Can you repeat that, please?
Again wrote Keisha Otim, whose cause of death was hypervolemic shock following a deep cut wound on the neck. Selyange Ignatius, whose cause of death was a deep cut injury on the neck. And Odeke Ryan, who died of hypervolemic shock following deep cut injuries on the right side of the neck. My lord, this evidence was collaborated with that of PW2, PW3, PW2, PW3, PW4, PW5, PW6, PW7, PW11, and PW14.
PW2, PW4, 3, 4.
5, 6, 7, 11, and 14. We are therefore convinced that the prosecution has laid overwhelming evidence, which is of course beyond reasonable doubt, on the first 3 ingredients of murder.
Okay, so let me get that. The prosecution has laid overwhelming evidence,
which is beyond reasonable doubt on the first 3 ingredients of murder. As pertains participation, ingredient 4, we relied on the evidence of PW6, PW7, PW11, and PW15.
PW6.
7, 11, and 15, my lord.
Okay.
My lord collaborated with that of PW13, AIP Odong Emmanuel, who authored the CCTV analysis report. Which was subsequently tendered in this honorable court and marked PEX 9A.
Let's proceed.
We concentrated on the images of the accused person captured on 2nd April 2026 on the CCTV analysis report. The images are on pages 50 and 51. Furthermore, the flash disk of CCTV footages marked as PEX 9B contains a video of the accused person captured on the day prior to the incidents parking at Renewal Circle, which is close to the scene of crime. My lord, this prompted us to believe that this heinous act was premeditated. The evidence of PW17 also implicates the accused person, most especially in his forensic report which was tendered in this honorable court and marked as PEX 16. He concluded on pages 19 of 28 of the report, paragraph 18.
You concluded on which page?
On pages 19 of 28 of the report, paragraph 18. Putting the accused person at the scene of crime by virtue of the DNA examinations made on his sunglasses, shirt, black trouser, knife, vis-a-vis the DNA examinations he made on the bodies and clothes of the four deceased juveniles. With the above, we are convinced that the prosecution has also proved the fourth ingredient beyond reasonable doubt. In his defense, my lord, the accused person said that he didn't intentionally cause the death of the 4 children. And that he was coerced to accept the charges Furthermore, he requested this honorable court not to honor the prosecution prayer to convict him on the 4 charges of murder because he contends that there are circumstances that forced him to act the way he acted on the 2nd day of April 2026. However, my lord, he didn't present any evidence to support his claim. Whereas in the evidence...
Okay, go slow.
Okay.
He was forced to act in the way he did on the 2nd of April 2026.
26. However, he didn't present any evidence to support his claim. Whereas in the evidence of PW11, Dr. Nwamanya, who examined the accused person on police form 24, which was tendered in this honorable court as PEX7, he was absolutely clear that basing on his psychiatric
okay, PF24 exhibit PX7
was absolutely clear that basing on his psychiatric interview and personal mental state examination,
basing on his
psychiatric interview and personal mental examination at the time the accused was presented to him, he established that Mr. Onyum-Christopher Okello had no established mental disorder. This collaborates with the evidence of Dr. Rogers Agenda in his sanitary assessment report, which was admitted on court record as PEX8A. We are therefore convinced that the accused person is mentally stable, as opposed to the evidence in his defense. My lord, the accused person presented the other 2 defense witnesses, but according to us, their evidence was not concrete enough to water down the prosecution evidence.
Their
evidence was not concrete enough to water down the prosecution evidence, my lord. My lord, in conclusion, we are convinced that the prosecution has proved all ingredients in the 4 counts beyond reasonable doubt. Prosecution has proved all ingredients in the 4 counts beyond reasonable doubt. we therefore advise this Honorable Court to convict the accused person in the 4 counts as charged. That's our humble opinion, Your Lordship.
Mr. Inomugisha, is this your opinion as well?
Yes, my lord.
Ms. Chovija Maria, is that your opinion?
Yes, my lord.
Thank you very, very much for being attentive. Let's have the interpretation, please.
Nga tutandika omusango guno, kooti yafuna abantu basatu nga ba bulijjo tebaasoma amateeka okujja kuwuliriza obujulizi oluvannyuma bawabule kooti era bazze kuwa kooti ne bagamba nti bonna endowooza yaabwe eri emu oba efaanagana. Ne bagamba nti mu misango gino gyonna enna balina okugoberera ebintu biri bina. Ekisooka balina okulaba nti waliwo abaana bana abaafa, nti ate okufa kwabwe kwali mu bumenyi bw'amateeka, nti ate eyabata yali alina ekigendererwa eky'okubata, ate balina okulaga nti omuvunaanibwa ye yaza omusango guno. Bonna awamu balowoozeza nti oludda oluwaabi luleese obujulizi obumala okulaga ebyo bina bye tuva kusoma, era ne bagamba nti omuwaabirwa omutwe gwe gwali gukola bulungi oba yali talina bulwadde bwa bwongo. N'olwekyo bawawudde kooti nti esange nga emisango enna gyonna nga gimusinga.
Mr. Okello, the assessors, 3 assessors have advised me to convict you. They have said that from their assessment, the prosecution has proved all the 4 counts against you beyond reasonable doubt. But like I told you from the beginning, their opinion does not bind the court. The court reserves the right and the power to make the final verdict. So I adjourn this case to Thursday 30th at 10 a.m. for judgment. The accused person is further remanded till then.
Omusango guno gwogezeddwayo okutuusa ku Lwokuna, kooti ew'ensala yaayo ku musango guno.
Please, we want to thank you very much, especially people who provided us with the lights. Thank you very much. May God bless you. And you keep them on so that we can depart when we are seeing where to pass. Until we meet on Thursday, thank you.
and Okello
that the accused lacked
Kale, abali ku Uganda Eyenkya, I think we've come to the end of today's live broadcast, coming to you live from Gaba Early Childhood Development Center oba Gaba Community Church. Kale, atusuubire n'olwaleero obwo byonna ebigenze maaso mu bigoberedde bulungi nnyo ate era mu bifunye. Yenze muzzukulu wa Gabo nga Moses Wamala. Kale, olwaleero lukomekkerezeddwa nga omulamuzi mu musango guno ye Justice Alice Komhanj Kawuka akomekkereza okuwuliriza enjuyi zonna, buli luuyi lupresenting oba luwaddeyo obujulizi ne luleeta abajulizi ne luleeta byonna bibyetaaga okubeera nga bikola. Prosecution ba witness abaleese oba abajulizi abaleese, empaaba ye na byonna bye tubadde twetaaga oba ebadde birina okuwulirwa mu keesi eno. Prosecution akoze ogugwe n'agumaliriza. The defense team abawawaabirwa nabo bakoze era kyekimu, ne bagenda mu maaso ne beewozaako, ne bassaayo okwewozaako kwabwe, ne baleeta abajulizi baabwe baleese babiri, brother oba muganda wa Christopher Okello saako n'omuvubuka w'okulugudo wa Street Kid owaviira ddala mu Kisenyi. Yes. Kaakati olwaleero omulamuzi abadde alina okuwumbawumba oba kyetwandise summing up the case. Kaakati buli omu asamize up both the defense team ne prosecution. Omuwawaabirwa n'oyo eyawaaba bonna bawumbyewumbye empaaba yaabwe n'okwewozaako kwabwe. Kyekiri kye buli omu kyakoze nga closing remarks of the case oba closure of the case. Kaakati byonna ne biggwa, era olwaleero tukitegedde nti abajulizi Christopher Okello yali atategeezezza kooti nti bali banajja kubeera nga baleeta okubeera nga bamuwaako obujulizi nti ddala kituufu si ye yatta abaana ennaku z'omwezi nga 4 oba teyakikola mu bugenderere. Olwaleero tukitegedde nti ababiri baabuze, okwawukanako kwabo ababiri be yaleeta okwali muganda we saako ne Street Kid nga bwe nkutegeezezza. Byonna olwaleero bikoleddwa era ne tugenda maaso okuwulira enjuyi zonna, engeri gye ziwumbawumba, okwewozaako saako n'okuwaaba okwa enjuyi zonna, era n'omulamuzi n'atuwa remarks ze oba ebirowoozo byonna ku ebyo ebisubmittingiddwa oluvannyuma lw'okuwuliriza enjuyi zonna, era n'awa submission. Kaakati gye biggweredde nga twetaaga ne ba assessors basatu abalina okubeera nga batunuulira byonna nga bwe bibadde, naye omulamuzi ategeezezza Christopher Okello Onyum ng'omuwawaabirwa nti yadde ba assessor babawo naye ate ebirowoozo byabwe biyinza obuteesigamwako, okugamba nti bye bijja okwesigamwako okuwa ensala oba okumuwa ekibonerezo bw'aba omusango gumusse mu vvi. Bonna bwe baleeteddwa abasatu baaseesa bawabudde kooti nti ddala kituufu oludda oluwaabi luleese obujulizi obumala era obulumika Christopher Okello Onyum ono, era ne basaba kooti era omulamuzi agende maaso okubeera nga asingisa Christopher Okello omusango guno, agende maaso okubeera nga ate amuwa n'ekibonyerezo ekisemberayo ddala okubeera ekikakali ekyokutta abaana abana. Kale, kaakati byonna biwuliriziddwa. Olwaleero defense team oba bannamateeka ab'essiga ab'oludda oluwawaabirwa olukulemberwamu munnamateeka Kumbuga basanze akaseera akazibu n'okumatiza omulamuzi ku bimu bye babadde basaminga up, babadde mu kuwumbawumba kwabwe, basanze akaseera akazibu okunnyonnyolera badde bafunamu n'akaseera ne adjournment s'omulamuzi wano n'abakayanyano ne kwegamba ng'olaba basanga olusozi oba bawalampya olusozi gambalagala n'olw'ensonga eyo byonna byonna obubonero bweyoleka Christopher Okello Nyum alina kubeera nga eyiye basima oba nga ebibye byawedde dda naye kale byebyo ebimu ebitonotono byeninza okubeera nga nkutegeezaako gwe yakatwegattako obwegasso olwaleero yenze muzzukulu wa Gabunga Moses Wamala kooti ejja kuddamu olunaku lwakuna olw'okuwa ensala mu musango guno simanyi oba n'ekibonerezo oba n'akiwa ku olwo naye lwe tulinda nti oba ali guilty oba nedda n'okuwa ekibonerezo sentencing simanyi oba kinaakolebwa ku olwo olunaku naye kale ennaku 10 ziweddeyo lwaleero nga bwe nategeezebwa nti omulamuzi oba kooti eno yaweebwa ennaku 10 okuwuliriza obujulizi bwonna n'okugenda maaso okuwuliriza omusango guno ate obudde obusigadde bugenda maaso okubeera nga buweebwa omulamuzi yeeteeketeeke okuwa ensala n'okuwa ekibonerezo singa Christopher Okello Nyum asangibwa nga ddala ekituufu omusango guno gumukka mu vvi kale tunaakwatagana olunaku olwokuna essaawa tutegeezeddwa nti zijja kubeera 4 n'olw'ensonga eyo katulinde ate tulabe ekinaava mu kusalawo kw'omulamuzi kale bwe tujja okubeera nga tukwataganira ate era mbeebaza mwanattu okubeera nga mutwekuumiddeko okuviira ddala gye twatandikidde era muli battendo nnyo gwatanaba kubeera ng'osubscribinga ku mukutu guno ng'oli mugoberezi waffe omujja nkusaba please kindly go right ahead and subscribe to us olw'ensonga nti ebinyuma ffe ababirina ate era ebiyigiriza ebisomesa ate era n'ebyo ebigenda maaso okubeera nga biwabula n'okushapinga eggwanga lyattu Uganda ffe ababirina ge mazima era ensonga mpitirivu nnyo z'olina okwesigamako okubeera nga ate otwesiga olw'ensonga nti tulina kituliwo ffe eddoboozi eri abo abatalina ddoboozi n'abo abanyigirizibwa ate era tukkiririza mu maanyi g'enkyukakyuka n'okulaba nga tuteekawo enkyukakyuka n'essuula empya mu ggwanga Uganda kale takumira mpeera bankumire kankulekere obulango buneeno ate oluvannyuma tujja kuddamu kukwatagana lunaku lujja kubeera lwa 4 naye nnyongera bajjukiza nti obeera nga video eno ogirabye please do kindly consider sharing it with your friends and family yes and you can as well go right ahead to share it widely naye as I wind up as I wind up nyongera okubajjukiza bannaffe aba Vortex Safe Solutions Vortex Safe Solutions weetaaga CCTV cameras weetaaga kiki weetaaga na business yo yeetaaga CCTV camera olina ssomero olina kanisa olina ki weetaaga kuinstalingayo kamera enkesi ojja kwekwata bannaffe aba Vortex Safe Solutions ate gwe yeetaaga amasannyalaze gakutawaanya olina ekizimbe ky'oba business yo oba waka weetaaga power backup nga tokyeraliikirira unreliable power supply nti amasannyalaze ate gavuddeko ate geekanzeemu ebyuma bye byonoonese weekwata abakugu aba Vortex Safe Solutions abagenda okubeera nga ate bataasa business yo okubeera nga amasannyalaze gabuukabuuka gavuddeko ate business otudde bagenda okubeera nga bakolera power backup ekyokuddamu oba solution ekinakkakkanya omutima gwo n'emmeeme woonaatuula mwana tokkirize nti ddala ekituufu business togenda kufiirwa bufiirwa ate essente ze wateeka mwanattu ozifunire ddala oba fridge yo enywa amasannyalaze genkanawa oba oli wa saaluuni oba oli wa bucha wenna nga business ye erayinga nnyo ku masannyalaze weetaaga bannaffe aba Vortex Safe Solutions bakukolere power stations oba backup oba amasannyalaze goyinza ate okukozesa nga toli ku bunkenke kugaana aga bulijjo aga UEDC oba naki so kakati abeetaaze ojja kuyita ku namba zaabwe butereevu nnyo 0704 156 991 note 7 note 4 M56 991 oba ne note 784 868 296 oba 0784 868 296 ojja kubeera nga bannaffe wabeekwata ba Vortex Safe Solutions ate ofune ekisinga ekigenda okubeera nga ate kitaasa business yo one the power blackouts ng'eggwanga livaako oba amasannyalaze lunaku lulamba lwonna emirimu gy'ogireke ate gife. No, we can't just look on, as Voltec Self Solutions are available to make sure that you have a guaranteed power supply and you enjoy everything and your business. You make profits at the comfort of your living room or your shop. So n'olw'ensonga eyo weetaaga security ey'ekizimbe, yes, CCTV cameras, n'ate ekyo kate kimala, era weetaaga n'amasannyalaze, because the cost of doing business today is very high due to the high costs of power. So kakati n'olw'ensonga oba weetaaga ensonga ey'okuddamu egenda okubeera ng'ate mwanattu okakkanako obeere comfortable, weekwate bannaffe aba Voltex Self Solutions. Muganda wange Mubiri Ahmed muzzukulu wa Gaba ng'ajja kubeera ng'ate ali ready oba mweteefuteefu okubeera ng'akuweereza. Yes, mukubire ku note 7 note 4 5 6 9 ne note 7 8 4 8 6 8 2 9 be bannaffe aba Voltex Self Solutions. Kale tubeekwate ate business zaffe n'amaka gaffe gabeere bulindaala nga tetulina buzibu bwonna. Yenze muzzukulu wa Gaba nga Moses Wamala, kozi waliwo mukwano gwange wano nyongera bajjukiza mwabeetaaga in case oyina mukolo oba oyina function, oyina any function, birthday party, baby shower, weetaaga kukwanjula oba kuhinjira oba wa gwe yeetaaga juice naye nga weetaaga obutunda, specifically supply anakusupplying obutunda obw'omutindo obutatali buno obufu bukoze butya, mulina obutunda gye mutera obubukola ng'ate obumu bufu obumu tebukwatagana obulala bagesibo oba abantu ne batuuka ne bennyika emitima ng'obutunda bwabadde bufu, quality yabadde tekwatagana, temwabadde. Naye nawe bw'oba okola business, ng'oli mu business ya juice, manyi bamaama abamu abalina businesses mu kikubo, abalina in different areas, naye nga mutunda juices, nga mwetaaga obutunda, abalina restaurants, abalina all forms bw'obeera ng'oli mu juices. Yes, nsobola okuwa a number of my very, very good friend. She can indeed go right ahead okubeera ng'ate mwanattu akuguza obutunda ku wholesale. Yes, osobola okubeera ng'ogula obutunda ku wholesale naawe kuba bulungi nnyo, very, very good and high quality. So trust her. She will really deliver somewhat or something very, very incredible that will leave your consumers in total awe and total appreciation of your business for relying with the best supplier who supplies on time, supplies quality with lots of customer care. So her number is 0705 429 230. I repeat, her number is 0705 429 230. So trust her, rely with her. She'll be ready to serve you with your orders. She delivers at a cost on your side. So go right ahead, make that call and trust her for good passion fruits locally made or our grown, locally grown on our soils. Yes, different types. So trust her, you will never regret. More so those in juice business. I just tell you, you just have to trust her. So that's been our show today. Why don't we call it a wrap? Ate tunaava wano tujja kubeera nga tetusukka wano. Yenze muzzukulu wa Gaba nga Mwesi Wamala, kankulekera obulango buno te tunakwatagana olunaku olw'enkya. Katonda omulungi abankuumire. Aya.